Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, friends. Thank you so much for joining for today's class. And I'm Anita Averina, and Prabu Mas Putra Negara will present about Unit 15 and Unit 16. I will be presenting about Unit 15, which is more connectives. The first connective is negation. The connective with this symbol used in propositional logic is paraphrasable as English not. For example, the symbol of negation, be sleep, stands for Bill didn't sleep. The conjunction of two negatives can be expressed in English in a variety of ways, including using neither blah 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 nor construction. You may think this is odd, as intuitively neither blah 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 nor is a negation of either blah 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 or. For example, we have Alice didn't come and Bill didn't either, so we write it as bracket, the symbol A come, and another bracket, negation symbol B come. And then the next is conditional. Conditional Conditional is the logical connective symbolized by this symbol, corresponds roughly to the relation between an if clause and its sequel in English. The linking of two propositions by this conditional symbol forms what is called a conditional. For example, we have, if Alan is here, Clive is a liar, so we write it as A here, this conditional symbol, C, liar. Additional notes, when we get the combination of this conditional symbol and the other connectives, we sometimes get cases of ambiguity in the corresponding English sentence. This is the example of the ambiguity. So if David is Alice's brother, then Fanny is his aunt or Bob's his uncle. So we write it as bracket D brother A, and then the symbol F on D, and then or symbol B uncle D, or D brother A, the symbol, and then bracket F on D or B uncle D. And then we move on to be conditional. Be conditional is a further logical connective, which is indicated with a symbol like this. And this expresses the meaning of if and only if in English. The linking of two propositions by this symbol produces what is called as a biconditional. The meaning of Ada is married to Ben if and only if Ben is married to Ada could be represented as bracket A marry B, biconditional symbol, bracket B marry A. The rule is P biconditional Q is equivalent to P conditional Q and Q conditional P.
Alright, the next unit, Unit 16, about dictionaries. A good ordinary dictionary gives three kinds of information about words: phonological, grammatical, and semantic. The semantic dictionary writer and the ordinary dictionary writer differ markedly in their style of approach and the emphasis on their various goals. One important point to note about all dictionaries is that their definitions are necessarily interconnected. Example, sex, interconnected male, sex, interconnected female, and woman, interconnected with female. The semantics dictionary writer's main interest is the sense relations between predicates. Another point about ordinary dictionaries is precision. However, ordinary dictionaries cannot account for sense relations such as incompatibility of male and female, the symmetry of join and marry, and the hyponymy of man to animal. Such relations are either not stated or left unclear in ordinary dictionaries. But the semanticist's goal is to be able to account for every sense relations, whether obvious or not. Semanticists are interested in the meanings of the words, and not in non-linguistic facts about the world. Therefore, they differentiate between a dictionary and encyclopedia. A dictionary describes the sense of predicates. An encyclopedia contains factual information of a variety of types, but generally no information specifically on meanings of words. Semanticists are interested in that information about words that can give rise to sentences, containing them being either analytic. Example, the walrus is an animal, or contradictions. Example, the walrus is not an animal. Thank you. And the next session is answering questions.
So we have chosen 5 questions that you guys asked, and this question was asked by Amira, if I'm not mistaken. So, what is the difference between conditional and biconditional? So the answer is conditional is a statement written in the if-then form. It's a conditional statement. P conditional Q represents the conditional statement. If P, then it means Q. So meanwhile, biconditional is a statement which is it involves a combination of a conditional statement and its converse written in the if and only if form. The two line segments are congruent if and only if they are equal of law. So a biconditional is basically a two statement of conditional if we reverse it, the meaning is still the same. So it is like this. The example is the statements that statement A, if the adjacent sides of a rectangle are congruent, then it is a square. And if we reverse it, it becomes if a rectangle is a square, then the adjacent sides are congruent. The two statements are remain the same and it is both true. So we combine it as biconditional, becoming a rectangle is a square if and only if the adjacent sides are congruent. So it is the difference between conditional and biconditional. The second question was asked by Lucy. She asked, could you explain us and give the example about ambiguity? I have already give you the example of ambiguity before, but I will explain more in this section. So we start in the definition of ambiguity first. The definition of ambiguity is a word or sentence that is not clear about the intention or meaning. An example of ambiguity is when a person answers a question in a way that indicates he is not giving all of the details. Ambiguity in connective happened if we get the combinations of this symbol with other connectives. So if we get this is conditional connectives with other connectives, it becomes an ambiguity. And to indicate the different interpretation, we will use the brackets. Like the previous example, tips to spot the ambiguity, try to uttering the sentences aloud with pauses in different places. This is the another example. So we try to uttering the sentence with pauses like this. If Susan is Diana's sister, then Lily is her mother or first her father. It becomes in like this, the second example, as sister D, bracket, L mother S or F father S. Another ambiguity is we read it as if Susan is Diana's sister, then Lily is her mother or first her father. So we read it as like this, bracket S sister D and then the symbol L mother S and then the bracket again or F father S. So That is the explanation about ambiguity.
Next is a question from Bintang Bintang Priyanto Putri. What is the difference between a dictionary and an encyclopedia? The view that dictionaries and encyclopedias are fundamentally different is based on the more or less intuitive difference between language and knowledge, or between the linguistic unit and the extra linguistic reality these units represent. Simply put, dictionaries describe words, whereas encyclopedias describe objects or people, although most of them still use words. And the next question from Rafita Fatma. What's the difference between the semanticist dictionary writer and the ordinary dictionary writer? The semanticist dictionary writer and the ordinary dictionary writer have quite similar goals, but they differ markedly in their style of approach and the emphasis which they place on their various goals. The ordinary dictionary writer are concerned with describing meaning, while the semanticist dictionary writer aim to describe sense relations between predicates as they understand them in their own everyday language. And the next questions, I think from Vigra Veronica. Please mention three kinds of information about words in a good ordinary dictionary. A good ordinary dictionary gives three kinds of information about words: phonological, grammatical, and semantic. I think that's all from us. Any any more questions?
No, sir.
If there are no questions, then we will end the presentation here. Thank you guys for joining the class and pay attention to our presentation. I'll see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you
warahmatullahi
so much,
wabarakatuh.
Ava.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank
warahmatullahi
you,
Thank you,
Kak
thank you,
Ave.
Ave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ave, Prabu.